Let's talk about the Russia-Ukraine war. After a lot of back and forth, the US president seems to have a change of heart. Washington is sending more Patriot air defense missiles to Kyiv.
We will send them Patriots, which they desperately need, because Putin really surprised a lot of people. He talks nice and then he bombs everybody in the evening.
So here are the questions we are tackling. What made Trump change his mind? Has Putin run out of Trump's trust? And what does this mean for the Ukraine-Russia war? I'm Ananya Dutta and you're watching Grey Zone. None of us can forget the White House showdown as the US president hosted the Ukrainian leader this February. What played out was not only painful to watch, but also made Donald Trump's stance on the war very clear.
If you didn't have our military equipment,
if you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you, you
I'm-
don't have the
I'm
cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't please,
you're running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I wanted this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
with guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
2 months after this exchange, Trump called the Russian counterpart a quote-unquote friend and genuinely believed that Moscow wanted to end the war in Ukraine.
Now, I think that there's a good chance we can get this done. I believe Putin wants to do it. Now, if I thought Putin didn't want, I mean, that's what I do. My whole life is like deals, one big deal. And if I thought that President Putin did not want to get this over with, I wouldn't even be talking about it because I'd just pull out.
Weeks have passed, but the frustration over a deal lingers. Only now, Trump has come to realize what his European partners have been saying all along. Putin isn't walking the talk, and this has prompted the US president to green-light a deal he had earlier said a straight no to.
We will send them Patriots, which they desperately need, because Putin really surprised a lot of people. He talks nice and then he bombs everybody in the evening. So there's a little bit of a problem there. I don't like it.
It's not a bit of problem, it's much more than that. This war is something Trump had campaigned on. He has repeatedly said that the war wouldn't have started had he been the president. But the truth of the matter is, the war is also not ending now that he's the president. So what changed? Has Trump's quote-unquote friend, Putin, betrayed him?
Trump thinks that international relations can be explained in terms of the personal relationships between leaders. So if he has a good personal relationship with Vladimir Putin, he thinks that the U.S. and Russia have good relations. That's ridiculous. I mean, personal relationships are important. President Trump has a good relationship with Prime Minister Modi. I think we all know that. But it doesn't mean that issues between the U.S. and India on trade, for example, are easily resolved.
Now that the so-called personal relationship seems to be in tatters, we need to talk about the impact of this on the war. Ukraine had been receiving weapons from the US, but only with money remaining from the Joe Biden's time in office. Trump had previously refused to consider seeking additional funds, arguing that it would only harden Putin's stance and dim chances to end the fighting. Over the weekend, Trump said yes to Patriot missiles for Ukraine, but also said that they will pay us 100% for them. If the they were Kyiv or the European Union is uncertain right now. Trump declined to say how many Patriots he plans to send to Ukraine, and that is key here. Patriot missiles aren't stealthy, silent or cheap. The MIM-104 Patriot isn't just a missile, it's a system in itself, a layered defense platform that watches the skies, identifies threats and takes them down at Mach speed. First developed by the US in the Cold War era, the Patriot was designed to shoot down aircraft but evolved to intercept tactical ballistic missiles, drones, and cruise missiles, basically today's warfare. Each battery includes a radar set, which are the eyes, an engagement control station, which is the brain, an antenna mast for communication, launcher units for the missiles, and interceptors. Each missile costs a whopping $4 million. The number of missiles Trump sends is what will decide if there could be a shift in the battlefield. Like a set of 10 could only ward off Russian shelling for a night. There are signs of the battlefield changing in one of the latest articles by Axios. Two sources have confirmed to Axios that President Trump will announce a new plan to arm Ukraine today that is expected to include offensive weapons. Sending offensive weapons would be a major shift for Trump, who has in the past refused to send even defensive weapons to avoid escalating the conflict. Now, Russia is monitoring everything from Washington to Kyiv.
Президент Трамп заявил, что он разочарован.
President Trump says. During the conversation, President Putin reiterated that we are interested in achieving our special military operations goals, but preferably through political and diplomatic means. However, this does not seem possible at the moment, so we are continuing our special military operation.
Do these developments mean the possibility of a ceasefire is dead? The short answer is no, and the long answer is complicated. Trump and Putin have held a number of phone calls in recent months, with Russia and Ukraine also resuming talks in 2 sessions of negotiations in Istanbul. In the latest phone call, 6th this year, Trump revealed that the two leaders did not make any progress towards ending the war in Ukraine. But hope isn't dead, from either side.
Насколько вас волнует или Кремль волнует?
We're now working on setting the date for the 3rd round of direct talks. We understand that this meeting is necessary. We are ready for it. Both President Putin and President Trump expressed their readiness. But the meeting must be well prepared.
For months, a convenient fiction has dominated the discourse that Donald Trump could walk into the room, broker a ceasefire, and just like that end the war in Ukraine. It was a neat story, diplomatic, respectable, even appealing. But there was one problem. Vladimir Putin never approved this story. And now it seems like just as Washington was flip-flopping over Ukraine, it has helped no one more than Russia. It gave Moscow enough time to keep American weapons at the doorstep while making major military gains on the ground. So as Trump gets over his breakup with Putin, it's Ukraine that has to face the fallout again. We keep going back to Henry Kissinger's adage. It may be dangerous to be America's enemy, but to be America's friend is fatal. I'm Ananya Dutta. Thanks for watching Grey Zone.